How about this pretending to be Nancy in the elevator, crazy together?
Okay. Okay.
What's happening here?
What is that? That is some psycho mess. Like, everybody got issues in this hole. Welcome back in, everyone. This is Black Girls Talking TV, where we bring the group chat to life and discuss all your favorite TV shows. Today is all about Imperfect Women on Apple TV. We are discussing episode 7. We are almost at the finale, and I'm shitted. I am Victoria. I am one of your hosts, and I'm a psychologist.
And I'm Kamaria. I'm an attorney and a pop culture writer. And before we get into this episode of Imperfect Women, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell, and be in the comments. What are your theories? Because they left us on a cliffhanger of like they think it's Scott. And I said this in a little social media. I said it's Howard. I don't care what kind of evidence you got. It is Howard. It's not no damn Scott.
Yeah, I said, who uploaded this video? Was it Howard? I think Howard did some AI type of madness shit and created a video, knew who he was because he had information from Nancy and did something.
Yeah, because like also even like the video is all like who does that? Who all up in the camera? Like, what was he doing? I don't even remember what he was doing, but it looked
he was
like,
too close.
Yeah, it just looked like this is too much. Like, I don't think he did all that. I mean, I just don't, I think it was fake. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's my running theory at the moment. But I am still on Howard / David so bad. I'm like, motherfucker, you crazy.
Right.
You crazy. Right. So it has to be you. It's no other option.
Yeah. Like, girl, I don't know if it's just like what is the psychological term? Is it cognitive dissonance or whatever? I'm not believing. I refuse to believe it. It's denial.
Yeah. You're choosing an identity and a belief because the other you can't understand reconcile. The two. So you are like, I gotta be over here because it's not that. It's not that.
It's Howard. It's gotta be Howard. Like, what are we talking about here? It's Howard.
Yeah. Yeah, no, honestly, I was like, not they trying to give us a little runaround for the last second.
I know. Like, that's what I was. You run a block for the last 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm just playing. We back here.
Yeah, but ain't no way y'all got this man who literally poisoned his daughter to prove a point, not the killer.
Right.
Because if not.
And also, it's like, don't do that to me, first of all. Okay?
Yeah.
Do not do that to me. I need Howard to be I need him to be the killer. I don't want it to be Steven, you know what I mean? Or Steve, whatever the man's name is. I don't want it to be him. But now that I think about it, though, they might have it be that and then both of them go to jail because it's like they are both bad guys and maybe they think that's a satisfying ending is for both of them to go to jail for their separate crimes against Nancy-ish. But I don't know. And
maybe
the daughter.
It would be, it would be interesting if they ever, especially with them going through CPS, if they ever interview the daughter to ask her, like, where did you get mommy's pills? Like, I'm waiting for that moment to come up because it's like y'all didn't do a thorough investigation if y'all didn't even question the kids with the mediator present, you know?
Right. And then just releasing him back, the girl back into his custody. It's like, what are we doing here?
It's like both parents were in the home at the
actually one parent was in the home at the time when this shit happened. Okay.
Correct. Yes, correct. So y'all not doing enough. Y'all just immediately assuming it was her. Granted, they were in her possession, but it's not like
she brought him into the home. But also, there was an accusation made against him in their presence. Like, they would have and should have taken that seriously. If she's saying he gave my daughter those, I'm telling you he did. That's when you start being like, okay, we do have to put this child into some sort of protective custody while we investigate it. And so sometimes it annoys me watching shows that do not
depict like reality.
Because it's like, stop just fucking with my emotions. You're just trying to get me riled up because you know that I'm like, this is wrong. Listen to her. And it's like, in real life, there are things that cops don't listen to. I've seen it before. I've heard it before. But an accusation like that that he gave, that would have been looked at. That would have been
Yeah.
looked at.
Agreed. And two, it's just like they always want to get the fact that like women aren't believed, right? But not the fact that men get their consequences. Like when you think about you and Joe, like it took you 4 or 5 murders for it to circle back. It's like y'all need to start believing women a little bit quicker. We don't need
Oh
it
yeah,
to
yeah.
linger and go on and on and on. So it's like if you go depict something, stop depicting the fact that men don't get consequences, because that's actually very harmful. Like let's show them getting their
Oh
just dues
yeah.
and some consequences for once, and stop putting
Mhm.
shit in their heads. Not saying that it's the show's fault. It's all of
Mhm.
society, but I feel like we can do a better job of depicting something else when
Mhm.
it comes to
Mhm.
displaying these types of behaviors.
Yeah. This episode, let's shift and start talking about Mary, because
Yeah.
I said this on social media, and I'll say it again. I had different emotions come up for me for this, because in the beginning I was like, girl, I was with Eleanor, like, girl, I know you're not going back. I know
Yeah.
you're not going back. But she
Yeah.
did. But then I was like, I guess there's like a level of like empathy that comes up. I had to stop caring, for a little bit. But also, once I thought about it a little bit, I was just like, I guess there's just like, it's gaslighting. I guess she's just already too deep in there. And I'm sure you could
Yeah.
speak more about that than anyone as a psychologist, but she's too far gone at this point.
Yeah.
It's like, what in the world?
Yeah, too far
Insanity.
gone. She's institutionalized into this belief that Howard has created, that he is needed. And I thought when, she had her speech and she was like, you strip women down till all that's left is you, that it was clicking for her. But she went right back. And when you put somebody into a corner, it's hard to have to make a decision like that and think that like you can survive beyond this, because there's so much, right? And like this idea again that if a woman were to go to the police and report all of these things because there's all of this other stuff, like will she be believed? It's like, will she be believed because she had on a short skirt? Will she be believed because she said yes even though it was still a no? Like
I mean,
it's a lot.
yeah. Yeah, I
She
think
was doing some
that,
crazy stuff though. That's
yeah, it seemed like her biggest concern was the kids, right? Like not
yeah.
them not being in foster care. And then they did say pot farm, but the
Yeah.
pot farm was looking like a little crack house. Like, it wasn't looking, what I was imagining was hippy dippy commune.
Yes.
It was giving we struggling. That's what it was
Yeah.
giving. It seemed like her biggest fear, like I said, was the foster care system for her girls, which is a valid fear, but it's also at a certain point, it's like, but also being raised by a murderer who just tried to kill one of them. That's
Right.
like so
Yeah.
are we weighing the opposite side of it? And also at least there's a shot with the route that she's trying to take of getting it all shown that it's him and you getting clear. Like there's a shot at something. And sometimes even though it's like the door may look narrow, it's like you got to run for that shot, because you have to move towards what's in alignment with what you know is right for you in your life, Like you can't live no life underneath no man like that.
Yeah, I mean, but she started underneath him, right? Like it talked about how like she was a writer and she was going places with her career. She didn't even like being a housewife, but she took that route with Howard, and Howard made her feel like that was her place and solidified that by taking everything away from her, So at least her right to choose.
Yeah, but I go back to what I said last time. I think it's the entry point of like at the beginning of this relationship. That's when she lost it all. Like all of this stuff was lost here. I was listening to something the other day, and I meant to send it to you because they were talking about like the effect of compounding interest with like the stock market and comparing that to like social media and people who like start podcasts and things like that. And they're like, it's every day something adds to it, but really it was the initial seed that you planted, that it was that first dollar that they put into the stock market that compounds. That's when they became the millionaire or whatever. It's the beginning thing. And that's what's here. It's the bad relationship. It's not the end part where she is that is the bad relationship, that it's like it reached this point. It's like it was a bad relationship when you started it. The seed that was planted to birth the relationship was the bad part of it. Like the bad relationship existed then. This is just all what it looks like in year 1 versus year 2, year 5, year 10. You know what I'm saying? When so much also gets added, like family and kids, and we share a mortgage and all these other things, but it was a bad relationship from the beginning. And so it's like when you have the least to lose, that's when you've got to get out. Otherwise, it's going to be harder and harder, you know? So I'm not trying to say anything about the decision that she has later or anyone who's in a situation like that, because I've had to leave bad relationships and it took so long, you know what I'm saying? But there's something to be said about the beginning of it. And I think it, like her issues in self-worth or whatever helped her to fall into that thing. And once she got in it, she couldn't get out. Because she still ain't out. We still sitting here talking about all of this. And she in that. She in she's in the relationship right now.
Yeah. I also want to point out too, it's not always like self-worth that will get you into, an abusive relationship. Sometimes it's truly not understanding the signs of a bad relationship, especially if like you haven't had any good models through friendship, through seeing, your parents or whatever in good relationships. Like sometimes some people I have realized really just don't know what it's like or what a good friend is supposed to do in certain situations, right? Like I have recently 3 different women, one of my friends, 2 people that I know that are dealing with things with like other women. It's like, why did you think that was okay, or it was okay to operate this way? And it's like, have you always just been a bad friend? I just kept giving you grace, or my friend kept giving you grace, like, and we were like ignoring the signs that were always there, because like this is like some bizarre shit when you turn around and you talk to them about it and they just like are like, oh, I didn't know. And now that we are, getting older, sometimes you don't know. And so if you, especially when you enter those types of relationships at a young age, and your brain not even fully developed, even with having good models of relationships, right? Like,
no, that's very hard. Real. And I also speak to, because my experience was not knowing, but it wasn't like not having models. I had good models, but I think I was like naive, like I think as a woman, even, as I was like the age I was, I think I just assume a lot of good things about people a lot, because I grew up in a very good family. And so I think that sometimes I can, people say you're too sheltered or you're too this or whatever. And like, I think I was just naive, like, so to your point, I did not, some people just don't know what it is. And you walk in and you assume that a certain behavior, you write it off because you think like, oh, like, they would never do that. They would never lie, or they would never, because like we don't do that over here, not in my circle. We don't do that. Right. So you just give people the benefit of the doubt, and people can inch, forward. Now I've never experienced anything this deep, because Howard ass is certified, like, in the way he even talked her through, like, coming back, he was just like,
with the kisses, right? and the effects. Like, I'm like, oh, you a scary motherfucker. Scary man. Like, that is a very scary man. And
no, go ahead.
And I think that this show, like I said last episode, it needs to come with a trigger warning.
It does.
I'm like, every single adult cast member in this show is abusive in some form or fashion. This show is highlighting the expansive nature of abuse. Nancy was abusive towards Mary when she went and lied to her about why she was upset that night with that straight ass face. about, oh, it's just Robert, he had a little fit or whatever, when Mary was genuinely coming to figure out what was wrong with you. We ain't got to understand why Howard, right, well, maybe. We ain't got to understand why Howard is abusive. We don't need to understand, or not understand, explain how Robert is abusive. Eleanor, you like trying to be in love by proxy through with another man through your quote unquote bestie. Like, it's all manipulative, abusive, gaslighting shit going on. Every single adult cast member. And so if there's anything to take, it's like abuse does not just look like force, coercion, putting your hands on people. It's this. It's this. It's lying. It's manipulating situations. It's being fake about how you showing up, not showing up in authenticity. It's all of this. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting that I saw someone mention on social media and on like the shorts that I posted on our page on YouTube. They said two separate people said that they were having difficulty getting into the show. And I wonder if it's because of some of these elements that you're saying, like, that need a trigger warning, because it is heavy and it is a lot. And even like to go a step further, now that we have talked separately about Howard's crazy and Nancy's crazy, how about this pretending to be Nancy in the elevator crazy together?
Okay. Like, okay.
What's happening here?
What is that? That is some psycho mess. Like, everybody got issues in this hole. When that police officer was like, I have seen a lot of relationships. I have seen a lot of reasons what drives murder. But what y'all got, I don't know what the hell this is. Like, and that's that. Like, because what is this?
Yeah, no. It is.
Yeah, you pretending to be somebody else, stealing her shit. Yeah. Like, and then fantasizing being with her while you're with your husband, and your husband is getting
being
off
her,
on the
not
idea.
being with her, but being her. That's what I was getting from it.
That I thought it was a little bit of both.
No, I was thinking she was pretending that she was her, because he kept calling her Nancy, and then they were like Mrs. Hennessy, and like I think she was taking her stuff to like embody her, you know, to pretend that she was her. And so I wonder, I have a little bit of concern that they really are going to try to make Scott be the killer, and
that would be such an unsatisfying end.
Right. But I think they might try to do it and then try to have both of them go to their separate, both go to jail for separate reasons, because I do think he gave that girl those doggone pills. But I wonder if that's the case, like if Scott did kill Nancy, I wonder if he gave that girl them pills literally just because to not lose her, just to not lose Nancy. Yeah.
I mean, Mary, not Nancy, Mary.
Mary.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
And then that's one thing. But I'm saying, like, not because he thought she was gonna go out in the streets and tell on him, and he wants to tarnish her, because we talked about that a little bit last time. But literally just to not lose her. And then two, if he went after Nancy, given all this little stuff, because this is the step further of their little sick fantasy. It's like, oh, you want this, you want to be her, and like, I'm gonna go get the real thing. I'm gonna go get the real Nancy, and I don't know, some sick thing in Howard's head about how that's maybe more control over her. I have no clue. It's hard to go there to figure out what the hell are they thinking when they write this.
Yeah, no, for real. I mean, because he had, he already, of course, like, had issues with cheating. She said that, you know, he was with multiple women. And I think she said, like, but why Nancy? And I can't remember. I could be remembering this wrong. Let me know in the comments. But I feel like he said something to the extent of, like, you know why? Like, this was our thing, and now I was able to obtain the real thing. And so that also leads me back to what I said, like, he started from the jump being a predator on Nancy. You know? And now I'm saying that out loud. I'm like, child, hopefully they did well.
I know
Like I
it's such
said,
a
insane minds operate like sane. I mean, don't. I can't even say it. Insane minds do not operate like sane ones, and so it is hard to try and figure out what they could be thinking. But no, 110%. That was a power and control move in order to keep Mary around by giving their daughter those pills. 110%. We talked last week about the power and control wheel. You could Google it if you would like, but that's also a good um, way to visualize all of the early signs of abuse. And some of them aren't even early; they're just what happens when a man, and the power and control wheel specifically about men and heterosexual relationships, but what happens when a man has the goal of having power over and control over you, and how that leads a lot of times to the physical violence. Like, it's the inner stuff, all the different things that they use as power and control tactics is what ultimately starts leading to the physical violence. And the physical violence, like I said, is usually what we see first, but it's those inner things that are warning signs that we often ignore, whether it's because, like, oh, we got the kids, don't want to leave the kids. Oh, like, I have nothing, like, what am I going to go do now? I don't have my education. I didn't take on my career. It's been forever since I've been in the workforce. I don't have my own money. Like, all these things that have happened through all of these different versions of psychological abuse is often what leads to the physical abuse that often happens when somebody is ready to go, or they're no longer complying, or not being a good girl, as Mary said when she came back.
yeah, that shit was like that girl, she because there's no difference between what she did when she came back than somebody coming as a dog like meow, meow, like oh that I said I did cat noises, but you know, like a dog that's like,
And
you know,
lost.
just I you're my owner. You know,
Yeah.
I submit. It's like, girl, I need you to pull yourself up. And
Yeah.
it's hard. I don't know how to speak about it because I don't want to be insensitive to what it is that she is going through, because I do like 1,000% believe that it's out of her control at a certain point. Not 100% out of her control, but so much out of her control. You know what I mean? I think that it's like if you're trying to pull back a lever and it's so heavy, you know what I'm saying? It's like you can pull it back, but the amount of effort it'll take, because it's just so heavy and it's a little bit. It's taking all of your strength, and so that's what makes it feel impossible, because it's taking like everything you have, or it takes most of what you have, and I think that's what I would liken this to.
Yeah.
But I still want to see her like pull herself out of it, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. But yeah.
We're gonna
I
see,
don't
child. Eleanor
yeah.
said, baby, this shit is still happening. Still happening. But speaking of Eleanor, so she goes to Robert and she tells Robert. Robert finally gets that moment to confront his dad. And he also brought up, I had mentioned this, like the whole infantilizing me in front of
Oh
Nancy. So
yeah.
she never had respect for me. I was like, even them constantly calling him his childhood nickname, like he does not like that, you know?
Yeah, his day
So,
said, "Get you some balls. You want to be a man? Get you some balls." I don't
yeah,
know what he said. Was
yeah.
that quote?
I think it was something. It was something like that for
He said,
sure.
"Grow some balls." But I was with the dad a
Yeah.
little bit because I was like, "Bruh, like you got to do something."
I mean, he was sitting there looking pathetic over there, drunk and whatnot.
But
So
yeah, for sure. And but also it's kind of like it's another one of those situations where it's like I do charge you with the crime, what's his name, Robert, of like not being your own man, but also it's like there is the weight of this parent who
it's
must have
also
not.
abusive.
Yeah, like that it's like it makes it feel like it could be impossible because you're sitting here with being born into obviously a toxic circumstance,
Yeah.
because there's no parent that would at the end, as you get into an adult, have this relationship with you like this, that didn't have some sort of problematic relationship with you as a child, I don't think. And so I liked him standing up to him, and so I was like, that's cool, you know.
Yeah.
But watch yourself, you know, they might
Okay.
too much of a liability, because they're not gonna do this but so many times.
Right.
But I thought it was good that he did it. But it was like right after that, that's when we got the news about Scott, you know.
Right.
Did we want to talk any about Eleanor in this episode? Like, she was just kind of like, She came to the house, you know, she did her
Yeah.
little yelling at him thing.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Eleanor's all they got, and
Mhm.
hopefully, I was thinking by the end of it, I was like, hopefully, Mary don't go kill Eleanor to keep her quiet about everything.
Yeah, I have no clue what's going to happen with all of that. But Eleanor, with all her meddling, you know, it got them to bring him in for questioning. And we'll see what happens. But you know, Howard ass is mad. He was mad, hot.
He was pissed, and said, "Someone needs to call DCFS. My kids can't be left unsupervised alone."
Yeah, he's
Yeah, he made sure to pull one last trigger pull before
right.
he went in there, and
Yeah.
so you already know what energy he walking into the detective's office with.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Anything else on this episode? We are moving into the finale. My theory still stands that it's Howard. Ain't
yeah,
shit
me too.
changed. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Shit changed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all for this week. Drop your theories in the comments. Has it switched up? I saw some people in the comments saying it could be the sun. Try so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will catch you next week. Hit that subscribe button, that notification bell. Bye.
Bye.